All right, we're back. Thanks for stopping by. This is the Eso Cruising video on the Symphony of the Seas. Those of you who are watching this right now, obviously the Symphony of the Seas is the largest ship on the ocean right now. It's the Oasis class from Royal Caribbean. That includes the Oasis, the Allure, the Symphony, the Harmony. And Chris, is there another one?
No, I think you got them all.
That's all of them. This is Chris DeBonis, everyone, from Go Luxury Cruisers. Cruisers or cruiser?
Cruiser.
Get it right. Go Luxury Cruiser. Chris and I have been working together for a long time, and finally we're going to give you the information that you need about traveling. Now, the Symphony of the Seas has been in service since March of 2018. It's got a crew of 2,200. It can hold 5,500 passengers at double occupancy, as 6,600 in total. It is the largest cruise ship on Earth. They've got 16 decks, 22 restaurants, 4 pools, 2,700 cabins. If you're on the Symphony of the Seas, you can stop by Cozumel, Roatan, Puerto Costa Maya, Labadee and Haiti, San Juan, Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, St. Martin, and of course, as you know, Coco Cay, which is a whole different story, and we're not going to get into that right now. Now, Chris, you're with Go Luxury Cruiser. You've been in the travel industry for a long time, and before you were in the travel industry selling these trips, you were actually on the ships. So have you been on the Symphony of the Seas?
I was on the Symphony of the Seas 3 days after it was christened, and I have worked on every other Oasis class ship, as well as pretty much every other class of ship in Royal Caribbean. So, but I got to say, the Symphony is definitely the jewel of the fleet. They actually renovated the Oasis to be like the Symphony. Because the Oasis was the best of the ships, and then the Symphony came out, and they looked back at the grandma and said, we got to fix her up. So they turned her basically into the Symphony too. So it's definitely a fantastic ship, and you're going to have a good time on board.
That's tremendous. Yeah, we'll get into why I'm going on it in a little while. Now, there are 22 restaurants on that, but that seems like a lot. I'm sure a lot of it is the Windjammer and the actual restaurant, and probably a Johnny Rockets and a coffee shop. But what are the specialty restaurants? They must have chops on this one, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're going to see the basics. You're going to see chops. You're going to see the Italian restaurant, I think it's Palermo's. And you're going to see, but what they've got that's new is they've got Hooked, which is a seafood restaurant, which I totally recommend. You got to go there and try that out. It's all seafood. The price is pretty good. Basically, if you were going to go try to duplicate this meal on board, it costs you $200-300, and I think this costs about. And the reason why I say I think and approximately is because at any given time, Royal will say it's 45, no, it's 50, now it's 35, it's 40. So it's right around $45 or so to eat in there, and it's a total deal. And then also there's a Local Fresh, which is a sort of a clean eating Mexican restaurant. Really, really good stuff. And those are new to Royal. So they're definitely worth trying. And there's one other, it's not really a specialty restaurant, but if you book into the suite level, you get access to what's called the Coastal Kitchen. And that's like eating in a specialty dining all the time. And that's just if you get up into that junior suite, Crown Loft suite, that level of suite, you can eat in basically steak and lobster every night.
Wow, that sure would be nice. Now you can help people get booked into those, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on this video. Now that's with the food, of course, and the food is fantastic. You know, every time I'm out on Royal, which I've spent over 100 days out in the sea on Royal ships, you know, we always go to Chops. Like Chops is like, that's half the reason people say that I even go. Just because the food is so fantastic. And, you know, it's more expensive probably than going down the street in your hometown. But this is almost a 2-hour meal. It's all the courses that you can handle and more. And the food is better than anything you're going to find at the local grocery. So it certainly is a good value. If you're in the middle of treating yourself, continue to do so. Now on the Symphony, Chris, are you familiar with the entertainment that they have available on that one? I know that I think that I read, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Broadway show has seating for over 1,000 people just in that theater.
Well, yeah, I'd be remiss in being a travel advisor not to talk about like kind of what's going on. You know, there may be adjustments to in the close time. You know, you may go in and there may be some differences in how many people will be in there. But yes, it's 1,000 person. It's a huge auditorium theater, and they do full Broadway plays. So what's now on the Symphony is Hairspray, and it isn't Hairspray excerpts of Hairspray. It's the same thing you would see if you went to Broadway. On Broadway, the people you will see on performing have performed on Broadway. A lot of them are regular Broadway performers who have done the show on Broadway and are lucky enough to get chosen to come live on a ship and do the show 3 times a week and then live on a ship basically like for the rest of the time. So you are seeing some pretty happy performers on board there.
Absolutely, and you're not getting the community players. You're not getting the third string guy who's trying to memorize his line this afternoon. These are total pros. Instead of going to New York, you're going to Cozumel, and you're seeing a show on the way.
I saw Mamma Mia on the on the Oasis. It's on the Allure now, but I saw it on the Quantum. Many ships. But I saw it when it first came about, and I got to meet the cast and everything. And all of the cast members I know from that are now doing The Lion King. They're doing all this. And these guys had come almost straight from Broadway to do this show. They had actually requested to go on the ship because it was such a cool opportunity. The show, amazing. Not an ABBA fan, but I'll tell you, I left Mamma Mia and I liked it. I mean, I was ready to be like, oh, okay, can I get through 2 hours of ABBA? But I'm telling you, they were so good. The people were so good. The show, the theater, everything, the ambiance was fantastic.
And so now we're going to put that in the huge theater on the Symphony of the Seas, and it's going to be Hairspray. And obviously, you and I don't know too much about Hairspray, considering between the two of us, we only have one strand of hair. But apparently, the show is pretty good, and they'll have other shows as well. I'm sure that they'll do the Quest. For those of you who don't know what the Quest is, we are not.
You're bringing me back to my cruise ship days, buddy. I used to host Quest.
We can't tell you what the Quest is.
No,
but it's going to come up. It's going to be late at night, and you got to go. And that's all we can tell you about the Quest. We're going to talk about the Quest every time. We're going to bring up every video that we do. Every video you see with Chris and I, we're going to mention it. We're not going to tell you any more than you got to figure it out yourself. And they'll probably have a comedian on the ship as well. And all that's fantastic.
Well, more than one.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And, you know, it's something that people are now thinking to themselves, oh, well, I'm going to go to RoyalCaribbean.com and I'm going to book myself on this ship. This sounds fantastic. And let me stop you right there, because the last thing you want to do is go do it yourself. Now, this is really funny because obviously Chris is a travel agent, right? And I'm a podcast host doing a video on YouTube, right? But I used to book everything myself. And Chris always used to say to me, will you stop booking it yourself? And I would say, dude, I can do it. Like, it's not a problem. It takes me 5 minutes and I'm done. I don't need your help. Like, stop harassing me. And he's like, I'm not harassing you. I'm trying to help you. Will you please just give me? And so finally, you know, one of these times, it was a few years ago. And I was like, all right, dude, listen, I want to go on this ship. And I'm looking at it right now. This is what it's going to cost me. What do you got? And I'm figuring he's going to come back with the same price. Right? But bang, what happens? It was $500 less than I was looking at. It was going to cost me over $2,500 to go on this ship, myself and my girlfriend. Instead, it was a little over $2,000. It was $500 less, and I got onboard credit. And what did it take? All I had to do was call. I didn't have to follow up. I didn't have to do anything else. It was a simple phone call. You know who I am. Here's my information. Put me on this ship on this date. Talk to you later. Next thing I know, I get an email. Here you go. Here's the numbers, and it's done. It's actually easier than getting on the website to do it. Now, Chris is looking at me thinking, yeah, this is what I've been trying to tell you. And I agree. But the problem is a lot of people just think that travel agents are obsolete. Travel agents, I don't need that because I can do it myself. And the truth is, yeah, you can, but you don't get the savings. Chris, help these people understand why it's better to use a travel agent than do it themselves.
Gosh, I have this conversation probably 30 times a day.
I bet you do.
Um, and not to give them free advertising, but the biggest name I always hear is Costco. Oh my gosh, I can go on Costco. They'll give me everything, a pony, everything when I get on board, but here's what they don't give you. And the money aside, because I mean, sometimes I can do really great stuff with the pricing. All the time I can add something to whatever the cruise lines offer.
Yep.
I can always add something. But there's some times where I can really deliver amazing value. But what I can always deliver is my knowledge, which you can't get. I've spent 10 years on board cruise ships. I've been to probably every single port in the world. I've sailed on 67 different ships, and I can tell you where to get the best sandwich in Cozumel, or the best Mexican food. Cafe Dennis, by the way, a little bit of free advice for you.
And also on that, just a real aside, make sure you check back often on this YouTube channel, Eso Cruising, because you're going to find the video on Cozumel. Back to you, Chris.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I love Cozumel. I remember Cozumel when it was a baby port. But the other thing is, see, here's the thing, is if you book on these online things and you don't talk, there's a lot to miss. I'm a what's called an ensemble agent. So I'm part of a big consortium of travel agents, and that allows us to deliver extra value. That's something the average person wouldn't know. Going online, you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that sometimes if you're in Portofino, I can deliver you a car and driver to drive you around for 4 hours, and that costs you nothing. That's just because you booked with me. Now, is that all the time? No. But I mean, on Royal Caribbean, always have free specialty dining or extra little goodies that, it may not be a lot of money, but, a night in specialty dining is $100, and I can give you that for free.
Put me in
Who
chops,
doesn't need
baby.
another $100? Yeah, that puts you in chops. And the other thing too is, my connections on board the cruise ships. I mean, I can still pick up the phone and probably call half the hotel directors on Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Azamara. I worked with them. I know these guys. So when I'm putting together vacations for people, I take into account my experiences in that port. And when they say what's really important to me, what we need to do is we don't just book the cruise. We book your vacation. We make your vacation happen. So, like, for example, I know Paul likes the historical side of stuff. So I don't send him to goofy touristy places that a lot of people like. I'm not sending Paul to Carlson Charlie's because he's not a big Carlson Charlie's fan. He wants to go out and see Mayan ruins. He wants to go out and see that. So we make sure that I get him on situations where he's going to get to see stuff that not even the ordinary tours are going to bring you to. I pick up the phone. I say, listen, these guys really like the Mayan ruins. And they say, oh, okay, we'll bring them to this one out of the way and down the way. And that's what we do. That's what my job is to craft the whole vacation. The cruise is a part of it, but the experience and what you take away from it is really what you pay for.
And the more that people call you and the more you book them trips, the better you get to know what they want, the more you can even do for them. And a real important question, Chris, and people are probably wondering this right now, how much do you charge me to do all of this?
Well, I mean, that can vary, but I mean, for the most part, my services will cost you nothing.
And that's the big difference that a lot of people don't understand, is that you're not paying thousands of dollars for this service and then you get all of these perks. It's, hey, listen, put a phone call, send an email, chris@goluxurycruiser.com, and like it's there, right? And that's the correct email address too, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, chris@goluxurycruiser.com. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to goluxurycruiser.com, you can email Chris, get the phone number right there. And you can also get on the Symphony of the Seas, because if you haven't been on this ship yet, and I haven't been, but I'm booked for October and I can't wait to go. We're just looking at everything that's going on today on that ship. And it's really, really exciting just to be able to be on the largest ship on the ocean, well, passenger ship anyway. And we're really looking forward to going. And it ended up costing us less, and we're getting more services and we're getting more things simply because we went through Chris at Go Luxury Cruiser, and that's it's a big difference. And, that's kind of the important thing that we're trying to get across. First of all, get on this ship, right? This is not a small boat in the ocean. This is the premier. This is the flagship. This is the USS Enterprise of Royal Caribbean. And, you want to get on it. And if you're going to go, you want to call that guy. You want to call Chris at Go Luxury Cruiser and just find out more about it, see what can be done. There's going to be a link down below where you can click and go right to it. All the information that you're going to need. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because we're going to have more coming out all the time. We're going to cover every ship. We're going to cover every port. It's going to be a lot of information. The more you need to know, the more we're here to help you out with. And if you do have any questions about anything when it comes to travel, just click the link down below and we'll get all that answered for you. Chris, last thing you want to tell people about the Symphony?
Actually, I wanted to, when we were talking about the shows, I wanted to jump in with this show. There's a show on board the Symphony, and it is unlike any show that's on any ship at sea. I've never seen anything like it. It's called Flight, and it is literally the journey of flight in the world, in the U.S. really.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a little hint. At one point, there is a life-size model of the first aircraft that flies over your head in the theater.
That's a pretty big theater, Chris.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, and you sit there and you're like, I'm on a cruise ship and this plane is flying over me.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So check out the Symphony and a lot of great things to do and see there. There's so many things. Make sure you check out the water show. And also, we
forgot to even talk about the water show. It's
the ice skating ring. And the ice skating ring.
So much
and the
to do.
big slide in the back and the zip line. I mean, there's so much stuff to do.
Do not book this ship for 4 days and 3 nights.
Yeah. No, don't do that. Yeah, you wouldn't have the time to see everything. So
no, don't get an inside cabin for 4 days and 3 nights. If you're gonna go, save your money and go, and it'll definitely be worth it. All right, Chris, listen, thanks so much for stopping by on this one. Folks, once again, Chris at GoLuxuryCruiser.com, GoLuxuryCruiser.com for your information. Click down below to subscribe to the channel and leave us a comment about if you've been on it, if you're going, ask any questions. We'll be right on top of it, and we'll see you guys again soon for more information, tips and tricks on traveling on cruise ships. Thanks so much, Chris.
Bye for now.
Take care.